Hello, Brett Campbell here, and today I want to talk about a topic that not a lot of people would even enter into the woods to even start thinking about. And it's the topic of what are the things in your life that you're currently holding on to, all right? The things that you're currently holding on to that are not serving you. The things that are stopping you from achieving what you want to achieve. The things that are stopping you from achieving your life's mission or living your life's purpose, okay? And I want to share with you a quick story. I mean, it's quite funny actually, but the message in itself is all about what are you currently doing that you must right now, after watching this video and understanding what I'm about to say, what is it that you are going to just cut right now? You're going to draw a line in the sand. You're going to go, you know what, right from now, from this second moving forward, I'm no longer going to do X, okay? Share with you this quick story. It's very funny. So as a kid, I was about 8 years old at the stage, and I was living at home with my parents, of course, and me and my mother and I can't even remember what this was about, but we were having a little bit of an argument, probably over nothing. You know what 8-year-old kids are like. You were one yourself. So we were having an argument, and I decided, you know what? That's it. I'm moving out. Now, literally, I'm moving out. I had enough. I was going to go and didn't know where I was going to go and live, but at that exact second, I was like, I know right now that I'm moving out. So I went into my bedroom. I got one of the bags out of our cupboard. I mean, it was an old rainbow, like a Hessium type of bag. You know those sort of old school carry bags with a big zip. It was about yay big. And I emptied every drawer. So my drawer of clothes, threw them in there, put all my other things out of my shelf, put them into this bag. And this bag was almost as big as me, right? And I continued to, at that time I was waiting for my mum to come into the room and say, oh, don't worry about it, I'm sorry. But you know, she didn't do that, eh? Anyway, so she didn't do that. So I grabbed the bag and I walked out the front door, dragging this bag because it was that big. And all of a sudden I was like, well, man, where am I going to go? What am I going to do? I was like, started going through all the people I know, my friends, you know, with their mum come pick me up because obviously I just couldn't drive, and I couldn't ride my little bike, my BMX bike, with this massive bag. So I was stuck with ideas. But you know, as someone who you know, was always being quite driven and you know, always tries to find the solution in the problem, I went to it. So I grabbed my bag, dragged it outside, and at that stage we were living on a main highway. So there's a main highway in front of our house, and there was a brick wall where we were, and then it dropped down, and then there was the main highway, which was like literally, you know, 3 meters away from our front fence. And I carried on, I sat there, and it was about 3 p.m. in the afternoon, so the sun was shining. Beautiful day, so I was like, okay, well, I've got time to think about this. So I sat down and you know, I was leaning on my bag, and every so often I'd look back and I'd see in the corner of the window, the curtain moving, and it was my mum checking it out, and I was like, geez, when are you gonna come out here? All right, I was waiting for her to apologize to me. And you know, stubborn as I was, I decided, you know, I'm gonna stay there. What I might do is start hitchhiking. All right, I might put my thumb out. 8-year-old kid with a bag, good idea not. So don't do that. So I thought, I'm not going to do that because I don't want to get picked up by a stranger. I'd hate for that to happen. But as you know, I was sitting there and I started counting cars, and I was playing games with cars as they were going past, different colors and all of this stuff, basically just to fill my mind. Okay, I was just filling my mind. Because I didn't want to come back to the reality of this current situation. You know, I was ready to move out. I was leaving my family, and started to get a little bit darker. Right, sun coming down, and at that time I could smell food coming out of the house. And Mum started cooking tea, and I was like, oh my gosh, I want some of this. Right, I'm hungry. I've got nowhere else to go. What am I going to do? And so what I did was. Yeah, sun went right down, started getting cold. I put on a jumper, opened my bag, put on a jumper. I was like, I'm staying stubborn here. I'm not going back home because it's her fault, okay? It's her fault. And lo and behold, you know, Mum opened up the window and she looked out. She didn't say a word. And I was like, can you bring me some tea? No, not bringing you any tea. Shut the window back up, and I was like, oh man, okay. So literally for the last hour, I've been sitting there going, you know what, I need to just muster the courage up to drag my bag back inside, throw it in my room, and then go and have some dinner. So that's what I did. I dragged the bag, put the bag in the room, Went up to the dinner table and Mum goes, what are you doing? What do you think you're doing? And I'm like, well, I'm having dinner. Well, of course I'm not going to move anywhere. I'm only 8 years old. But this is where it took a turn for the worst. My mother says, before you're eating, you're going back into that bedroom, you're taking all those clothes out of that bag and you're going to fold them up neatly and put them in the drawers. So what I had done, think about this. Not only had I sat outside for the last 3 hours, I had made the entire situation worse than what it was, because my clothes weren't even folded in my drawers. I'd just thrown them in there, right? As a kid, I didn't want to fold my clothes up. But I then had to go and fold them all, put them back in, which took another half an hour before I even got to have dinner. So I share that story with you because maybe you're not 8 years old right now, okay? You're not 8 years old, but we still have those thought processes. We still run patterns that we have created from childhood. So what is it that you're doing right now in your life? Maybe it's a relationship, maybe it's your job. Whatever it is, what are you holding yourself hostage to right now? Okay, what are you holding yourself hostage to? And what are you actually making worse? So when you do finally decide to take that next step, or you do finally decide to go, you know what, this is the time, from now on I'm going to be carrying on doing X, Y, Z, what is it that you're making worse? Because the longer you leave it, the worse it's going to be, okay? So I really encourage you, I want you to think about that and go, what right now would I like to change? And I have the power to change. So I had the power to walk inside at any moment. I had the power to not even walk out of the house. I could have just said, I'm sorry, Mum, what would you like me to do to make this better? Right? But obviously being 8 years old, I had no concept of that thought process. But now that we're adults, you're an adult, you're watching this, what is it that you could do? Right? What is it that you could say? What is your next step to help you break through something that is holding you back from achieving a fulfilled life? Okay, so I'm Brett Campbell. Until next time, go out there, live with intention, love with passion, and never give up on your dreams.